Hello everyone, welcome to Around the Wickets by ThePapare.com, cricket's weekly brief that takes a summarized look at all that's happening in our favorite sport. Now let's talk about Sri Lanka versus Pakistan, the one-day series. Now at the moment, the series is locked at 1-all. Now this was after Sri Lanka lost the first game and won at Pallekele. Now if we focus on the first game, I thought Sri Lanka batting was found wanting. Now all the batsmen did get starts, but nobody really kicked on other than Dinesh Chandimal. He did bat well, he got a half century, but Sri Lanka needed big scores from established batsmen. And 255 for 8, I thought, wasn't definitely enough. In fairness, the pitch was nipping around, it was a good toss to win, and when Pakistan was batting, the pitch settled down a lot. But I also thought that Sri Lanka lacked wicket-taking bowlers. There were all-rounders, but there weren't the wicket-taking bowlers. There weren't bowlers with that extra thing, like the Sachitra Siranayaka we know, like the Ajmals, like the Narayans. I believe cricket needs bowlers like this, though sadly they have been called for throwing and they're out of favour and they're losing their effectiveness. Now in the second game, it was another ding-dong battle. It was Hafiz who had a brilliant all-round performance in the first game. In the second game, Pakistan, 287 for 8. I thought it was still a winning score. Good scores by the captain, Azhar Ali. Shoaib Malik looked really good. And I thought Lasith Malinga, after being off-colour, did come back quite strongly. 2 for 64 doesn't suggest that he bowled well, but he definitely bowled much better than that. Sachit Patirana had a good debut. Well, he did struggle towards the end, but those initial wickets certainly tilted the games in favour of Sri Lanka. And when Sri Lanka batted, the way Kusal Perera got off to a blistering start was simply outstanding. He just made everybody just watch, and he made the Pakistan bowlers pay for the short pitch bowling and also for the wide bowling, where he just went after them all over the ground. And unfortunate that he got out when he was looking really good for 100. Now what happened afterwards was that Pakistan, I thought, had a chance of winning, but Azhar Ali, the captain, lacked imagination. Now he was all right when he got 3 quick wickets, but when he needed to attack, I thought he really didn't press the button and also didn't create that pressure. Now Sri Lanka at one stage were 5 down. Milinda Siriwardena just playing in his second game with Chandimal. That was the point Pakistan wanted. When Milinda Siriwardena got out, in came the debutant. That was Sachit Patirana. Well, I thought they didn't attack, just allowed him those easy runs, and then Patirana just gradually started playing those shots. And when he got out, Perera came in, and Sri Lanka still needed some runs. And don't forget, after Perera, Sri Lanka didn't have batting. Still, Azhar Ali decided to just sit back and watch. And in the end, it was a little bit too late when Perera got out, and Chandimal got Sri Lanka through. So good performance by the Sri Lankans in the second game, but they will have to get their act together, particularly the batting. The batting will have to come to the party. They'll have to be consistent. And on good pitches, Sri Lanka will have to find bowlers who can contain. Patirana was good, but as I said, they need bowlers with that extra X factor. Let's see, 3 more games to go. Let's hope Sri Lanka can win this series and salvage something out of this tour, because we've already lost the Test series. Now, let's go across the seas and look at the international scene. In Australia, England battle for the Ashes. I thought England's win was simply outstanding. Who expected England to win a game in 4 days? But they did very well. The England bowling came to the party, and Joe Root, he's maturing to be an outstanding batsman. He was missed by Haddon, don't forget, as soon as he came in, and he made full use of it. And the 100 he got and the way he batted really pushed the Australians back. So we're off to a brilliant start. Well, Lords, as we know, is a happy hunting ground for Australia. So Australia will be looking to come back very, very strongly. And the Australian batting, let's not forget, is a strong batting lineup. Now, if they get their act together, England may struggle. All in all, I expect the Ashes to be very closely contested. Just the first Test victory will never assure England of a series win, because the Australians are a good side. But we've heard that Brad Haddon is having personal problems, and he will not play that second Test match. We know that he kept out of, he just was out of cricket for a while when his daughter was diagnosed with a rare disease. That was during a tour of the West Indies, and then he came back. And once again, he's decided to opt out. I wonder whether it's a personal problem or whether he's just struggling to cope with the pressure due to that dropped catch. And also also Shane Watson, just found wanting with that technique, being LBW. He'll be left out of the second test match. Mitchell Marsh, the highly talented all-rounder, is expected to come in, but this would not mean that it will be the end of Shane Watson's career, but certainly for the moment, he seemed to be struggling to hold that place in that Australian side. Hasn't got 100, hasn't been consistent with the bat, and also been injury prone. He's been struggling to get wickets for Australia. Well, that's as far as the Ashes are concerned. And from the IPL, well, who expected Rajasthan Royals and Chennai Super Kings to be suspended for 2 years? That to me is the news of the year. Never expected that to happen, but things seem to be happening in the field of cricket with the ICC and also the Indian board really looking to try and clean things up, and that's the way to go, I believe, because match fixing sadly has caused a few blots in cricketers' careers and also in the game of cricket. And at this rate, unless this is checked, you and I, well, we commentating, you watching, will be of no use, because if a game is fixed, what does it mean? All what we are trying to predict and you cheering will be of no use. So well done to the Indian Cricket Board, and well done to the law in India, where they were fearless and they decided to take them on, and 2-year suspension is really going to shake the IPL. So let's see how they progress in the next edition. But two big names, Rajasthan Royal and Chennai Super Kings, being suspended for 2 years. Bangladesh, would you believe it? What a time they're going through. They're certainly having a purple patch as far as their cricket is concerned. They've beaten Pakistan 3-0, they've beaten India 2-1, and now they beat a very strong South African side 2-1. So they seem to be kings at home, and hats off to the Sri Lankan coach Chandika Hathurusinghe. Ruan Kalpage is there, and also a Zimbabwean bowling coach, Heat Streak. So Bangladesh going places, and well, they seem to be doing well at home. Now let's see how they perform outside the country. I think their biggest problem was they just didn't know how to win. They didn't know what winning was all about. They used to win one game, then there used to be a gap, then again another win. So there was no consistency. Thankfully, Bangladesh is getting their consistency, and now they qualify to the 2017 Champions Trophy, which makes Pakistan and West Indies battle it out for the final place. Interesting times ahead, and it is very, very good for cricket. But as far as Zimbabwe is concerned, they seem to still struggle. India just whitewashed them. A new look, a second string Indian side easily beating Zimbabwe 3-0. Where will Zimbabwe cricket go? Well, Zimbabwe seem to be losing their players. Brendan Taylor retired. Lots of other players have retired. The economy in Zimbabwe seem to be struggling, and that seemed to be hitting Zimbabwe cricket. Well, let's hope that Zimbabwe will be able to dust this situation and just come back strongly and become a force they were as they were in the past, and just give the main teams a run for their money, because the world of cricket needs Zimbabwe, because they were a fantastic side. Don't forget the Flower Brothers, don't forget Heat Streak, don't forget some big names, and I'm sure there are some highly talented cricketers out there in Zimbabwe, but unfortunately, the current situation, the political leadership, the economy in the country seem to be pushing players out of the game and out of the country. Well, on that sad note, it's time to end Around the Wickets. We ask you to follow ThePapare.com for all that's cricket, and you can also send your queries to #AroundTheWickets on Twitter and also on Facebook, or email us editor@ThePapare.com. And also for all your updates, audio updates, you can tune into The Crickettery. Just to remind you, at the end, in fact I should say Crickettery, at the end of each day's play in the Sri Lanka-Pakistan series, you could listen to Crickettery and listen to the audio updates. So that's it again on Around the Wickets. We'll see you again very soon.